are back on the Morning Brew with Friends. This is great. We're joined by our friends here, Akshay Connor, Professor Jed Crandall from UNM. And Professor Crandall, this sounds like one of the coolest things. You research global internet censorship. And how did you get involved in researching global internet censorship?
So when I was a graduate student, a paper came out about the Great Firewall of China. And it turned out to be actually technically very interesting how they implemented it. So
because they got 1 billion people they're trying to censor. So there's got to be a crazy technical something they got to do to make sure everybody stays like on the path, as it were, right?
Yeah, they basically have 1/4 of the world's internet is in China because there's so many people there.
Wow.
And the way that they've been able to build a firewall that firewalls off 1/4 of the internet, when like a small business struggles to firewall off, like 10 people.
Right.
And they firewalled off 1/4 of the internet. So it's technically very interesting the way that they've done it. So.
That is amazing. That is very amazing. So how are you taking those lessons and what you learned researching that and turning that into, I guess it's called Gen Cyber with these guys?
Yeah, so basically, like everybody needs hackers. So the government needs hackers.
And hackers aren't really what they used to be, right? People think of hackers like, I think a lot of people think of them as like, what was the old movie, The Net, right? You try to just hack into the government and steal all of that, right? But now a hacker is really somebody who just makes something better, right? Essentially, finds ways to make something and develop something and make it into something new and better, right?
Yeah. So one of the things we need hackers for is, for example, like the Dalai Lama is constantly under attack. From an unknown government, and then there's other organizations, there's Uyghur organizations, and then in other countries there's journalists. So all over the world, there's organizations that are under attacks from some pretty advanced threats, and it's the exact same threats that like Sandia National Lab sees, for example. So the government needs hackers, companies need hackers, and then in my case, the people I know that are trying to study internet censorship or understand the attacks that non-government organizations are seeing, they also need hackers. So everybody needs hackers. So that's why we decided to start a camp to start training them early. So
very cool. And are you guys loving this? Did you guys say, great, I want to get in this hacker camp, or were you coming from more of the computer interest side, or how did you guys get involved?
Mine started because I was the captain of a team called Cyber Patriot at my high school. And what Cyber Patriot is it's a national competition for students to compete in securing computer networks and individual computers themselves. Huh. So because I was captain of that team, I had a couple of people tell me that I had to go try this out because it was just a good class, and I had a great time. So.
Cool. And you, actually?
So I just have a love for computer science, and it's really my passion. So I just wanted to try new things and look into cybersecurity more to learn more. And
so it sounds like you're looking at it more from this protection idea, and you're looking at it more from a research idea.
Potentially, yeah.
Cool. So, I mean, what did you learn in this program? So could you, like, lock down my computer at home?
So we learned a lot, really, from the basics of computer networking, from how computers connect to the internet and their security behind them, to penetration testing, looking for vulnerabilities in computer systems, to even computer forensics, investigation involving digital media.
Cool.
We learned password hacking, cracking, encryption, and lots more.
Wow. So don't leave you guys like loose with my iPhone then, right?
A lot of what we learned kind of centered around learning what the vulnerabilities are and how to exploit those vulnerabilities, because once you understand the just various vulnerabilities, it makes it much easier to go out and secure them.
I've always wondered on this, like, there's a number of companies out there that can say they'll do a security audit, they go to Target and they'll say, these are all the vulnerabilities you've got. But who fixes those vulnerabilities? Who goes out there and fixes that stuff? Is that you guys? Or is that the eventual goal then, is for you guys to go out and fix those things?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's the market that we need, right? I mean, is that the kind of thing that when you're talking to employers and your dean of the department and everything, they're saying we need to train people who can actually go out there and fix these systems?
Yeah, fixing vulnerabilities is one part of it, but with the state that computer security is in now, a lot of what people that have this kind of training do is cleaning up afterwards. So
yes,
that's where the most immediate need is, and that's where a lot of people are hiring, is trying to figure out what happened.
Right.
And then clean up afterwards.
Right.
Unfortunately, that's just the state of the art in cybersecurity. So
Right. So, I mean, how many people do you think the industry needs right now? I mean, I've heard numbers. It's like almost completely fully employed right now. You know, I mean, are we still? But we still need tons of thousands of people.
Yeah, I think that it's not just people, but you need people that enjoy it so much that it's what they want to do on the nights and weekends. So those are the best hackers, are the ones that want to keep learning more and more and more, and they're really hardcore about it. So that's why we want to start early.
Yeah.
Because if you start early and you get into it,
it becomes
and you
second
just keep
nature.
learning and you keep on that process, then you might, one day be able to
lock down
and
lock down something like San Diego National Labs, and it's just second nature for you at some point, right?
Yeah.
Is that you guys? Are you guys the ones who are out there like every night, just hanging out, learning this stuff, going through the internet forums and learning more and learning more?
Yeah.
A lot of it is just going out and just tinkering and messing around with new ideas, new stuff.
So Windows 10 comes out today. Should I get it? Is it bad? Is it full of flaws? Is it leaving my computer vulnerable? Like, should I leave it at Windows 8 that's like horrible? Or do I go out and get Windows 10? Like, do I download that?
I would recommend just waiting because it's the first iteration. People try to find bugs and hacks and things like that. So I think
Microsoft test for that stuff? Like, aren't those guys out there like super geniuses, like figuring out where all the bugs are to begin with?
yeah, that's.
Or are you telling me I cannot trust Microsoft, actually?
No, I'm not saying that. Whenever new software comes out, I mean, it's the best idea to wait a little bit to see how things are playing out and seeing if it's really ready.
So give it until maybe the first Windows 10 update before I update my computer?
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah?
Well, and kind of on the flip side, Windows 10 is intended to fix a lot of the vulnerabilities that they were able to find in Windows 8, and it's
a lot of the stupid stuff Windows 8 did.
I think they're rapidly trying to recover from all of the nastiness Windows 8 caused, but in cybersecurity, a lot of what we try to tell people, and it's true all the time, is to update your stuff frequently. Whatever you can update it as often as you can.
Because I love the word. It's called cyber hygiene, right? Just that's the perfect thing. Well, great. I will not download Windows 10, and I will count on you guys to lock down everything in the universe here. Make sure nobody can hack it. We're back in a couple of seconds on the Morning Brew with friends, and we're going to have this is really cool. We have a bullfighter on. I've never had a bullfighter on the show. It'll be great. All in the Morning Brew with friends.
A place built on parents' dreams. A place for education and growth. That adds meaning and value to a day. Where we believe that everyone can work. But more than just a place to live or play. Mandy's Farm. Grow with us.